So I grew up near a river, and in the wintertime, my older brothers and I, they were like 4 and 5 years older than me, we'd clear a regulation size hockey rink, and we didn't have helmets or pads or anything like that, boards or anything like that, but we'd paint lines in the ice, and we'd maintain the rink. It would melt and freeze, and if we had a really long cold spell, it would get these big cracks, and we'd stuff snow into the cracks, and then our friends would come on the weekends, and they'd bring a length of garden hose, and we'd run a line from the house and flood the ice and redo it. And we probably did this for a good 10 years growing up. When my brothers left home, I would invite my friends out and follow up the tradition. And then when I went away to college, I had a job near the fairgrounds where they flooded a few ice rinks there. And I would carry my stick and puck and skates with me in the car, so if I got off work early, I could take a few shots and skate around before sundown. And years later, when I sold that car, I was cleaning it out and I found a hockey puck in the trunk or under the back seat or something. And I've continued to keep that hockey puck in the whatever vehicle I've driven in the 40 years since then, because it reminds me of those good times and looking forward to winter and doing all that shoveling just to have some fun with friends.
My favorite memory of the holidays is the very first time that I read Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Love Charles Dickens. And I got into the story, and Jacob Marley is Scrooge's former partner, and he's dead, and he comes back to Scrooge's bedroom, and he's got all these chains and big metal things that he's carrying, and it's just horrible for him. And Scrooge doesn't understand. He says, "Jacob, you were always a man of business." And Marley says, "Business? Mankind was my business. The welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, benevolence, those were my business." And I haven't got the quote exactly right, but that's it. That is what I read, and I just thought, this is the key to it all. Dickens he's got it figured out. And there's a number of movies made of this story, and I love watching all of them, but the one that's best is from 1951, and that's when he really gets pissed off at Scrooge for not understanding. He screams. That and trying to eat my Aunt Dorothy's pumpkin pie, that's my other memory. I hate pumpkin pie. Can't stand it. It's awful. She made her first one. She cut a piece. She didn't ask me. Brought it over, set it down in front of me, and I went, thanks. I ate it. I almost choked on it, but I ate it, and then she asked me how it was, and I said, "Oh, your first pumpkin pie was great." I mean, not why. But then I thought of Dickens, and I thought, "Oh, just be nice." So I was.
And you asked me that yesterday, and it's 50 years. It's a long, long time to think about, and you remember the gifts, and you remember the family that you spent time with that, most of them are gone now. But I guess if I had to pick a Christmas memory that I really remember, you have to understand, I grew up on the south side of Des Moines, which was a very ethnic neighborhood, and mostly first generation, second generation Italians. Italian was spoken, and Italian culture revolves around 3 things: church, family, and food. Lots of food, and Christmas started with cookie trays right after Thanksgiving and huge platters of things being given, and it was always a sort of point of honor. No one ever left the table hungry, maybe because they grew up dirt poor. Food was a really big thing. And my favorite memory is I had to have been about a junior or senior in high school, and we had a typical big Italian Christmas dinner with ham and big tureens of pasta and just dozens of side dishes, lots of family coming and going, and coffee and pie. And two of my friends showed up, a friend and his actually nephew, to deliver Christmas gifts. And no one was going to let them get away without eating. It was just a thing. You just could not let somebody visit you and not feed them. And they were from the east side of Des Moines, which was very Polish, same kind of cultural stuff. And it was about 2 p.m, and they said, okay, we'll just try some things. That went on for about 40 minutes. And one of them suddenly looked at his watch and said, "Oh my God, we've just had this huge full meal and we have to go back, and your mother is going to kill us because we have to eat another huge full meal with them." So for me, it was always sort of, I remember the food and the family, and much more than the gifts, I think.
Yeah, Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Christmas memory, we all got together around a bonfire, drank some near beer. Right, if you don't know what that is, non-alcoholic beer. Yeah, so that was I guess one of the key memories. I showed some brotherhood of things of that nature. Got the picture on the back wall of me and Smiley, the same thing. The brothers in arms. We were all there for Christmas. Couldn't be home, so there's a couple for the Marines. Family naturally is always important. So watching my kids had their first Christmas is always good. Getting some snowmobiling, all kinds of other things. I like the snow and the cold. I know not everybody does, but me, I don't have a problem with it.
The first thing I would thought of when you asked me to talk about Christmas memory was one from my childhood, and it was, I think I was in kindergarten. It was my first big church Christmas pageant thing, and our class was playing angels, and so we got the tinsel halos to wear, and my mom bought me a new dress through Sears catalog. That was a big deal to get a brand new dress, and it was a really pretty frilly dress, just perfect for an angel. And we sang It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. I can still remember which carol went with that. So that's one of my earlier childhood memories that tied back to Christmas, and it was a nighttime program, and it was one of those things where they had candles all over the church, and it was very impressive to me at that time. And the other one comes from my grandkids' childhood, and I think it was my older grandson was 1.5, and we had maybe he was 2.5. We had the Christmas tree set up, and he went to bed, and his parents were staying at my house, and so we got him all settled in bed and put his Santa presents out under the tree. Hope nobody sees this who might still think that someone other than parents does that. And it was very pretty. And we were in the other room watching TV, and I glanced into the living room, and I saw him in his little footy pajamas standing in front of the tree with these really big eyes and looking at all the stuff there. And I thought, oh, shoot. And we bundled him back upstairs and put him back in bed, and he never, ever commented on that ever since. But the look on his face when he came down and the tree was all lit and the presents were under it was pretty priceless.